If you're a
Anyway,
startup,
this guy apparently is interesting. This is a cool video from what I understand.
them.
Wait,
If
what
you're
the
on
fuck? How do I do this?
Twitter, you've seen them. And if you're the Patagonia store at 770 North Point Street in San Francisco, they're probably inside of you right now. Of course, I'm talking about venture capitalists. And today, we ask, I'm here in beautiful Silicon Valley, California, the home of venture capital, which Investopedia defines as a type of financing that investors provide to startup companies and small businesses that are believed to have long-term growth potential. Sure, but over the last decade, the investment arm of the startup community has created a buzzy culture around itself, with some of its most successful operators becoming famous in their own.
Okay, this is not edited. Okay, look at his head. That is not edited. When I first saw it, I thought it was edited too. It's not. He actually has an egghead. No, it's not a joke. What was his name? Andreessen or whatever? What the fuck's his name? He's like a crypto guy too. It's not a yolk. Fuck's his name? Mark Andreessen. Yeah. He did block me. Yes, he did. I don't even know exactly why he blocked me. I forgot. But bro, he follows fascists on Twitter. Bro, he's I don't know what to say. He's just
own right. So do these mostly guys really just invest in companies, or is it something more? Our investigation
instead, I gotta pee real quick.
began with a real-life venture capitalist who we lured into our studio by telling him we are two young Stanford grads with a hot new startup that's like if Uber and GitHub had a baby whose skin was made of Allbirds.
My name is Sheil Manat, and I am a general partner at Better Tomorrow Ventures. We find really small companies and give them money and time and hope that they become big companies. So that's pretty much it.
All right, but lots of people finance projects that need money. Banks, the government, my sugar mama best. So what besides designer mushrooms are these guys doing that's so unique?
You look for crazy ideas that, if they become true, are gonna change the world.
They would say that they are funding the innovation economy. If we didn't have venture capitalists, we wouldn't have Genentech or Intel or Apple or any of the great American companies that have brought us all of these innovations that we use in our everyday life. And that's true. You know, you can't dispute that.
Fundamentally, the job of VCs is to take long-shot chances on small businesses with huge potential, which must mean that everyone in venture capital invests in small companies and makes mad bills. Case closed.
Okay, never mind.
You
he wrapped
usually
it
lose
up.
money when you invest in a startup.
Never mind.
In aggregate, startup investments typically outperform the market. So you probably, if you're going to invest in startups as an asset class, you probably want to make 20, 30, 40, 50 investments.
Turner Novak is a writer and investor at Banana Capital Ventures, which focuses on young startups like Be Real, Tiggy, Mio, Peanut, and other companies that sound like Teletubbies.
And if you're just, you know, a normal investor who doesn't do this as a full-time job, it's probably unlikely that you'll be able to find 20 to 50 really good, potentially high-quality opportunities. So you go to a venture capital firm that essentially raises a fund from anywhere from 20 to 100 or 200 or 300 investors.
Investing in a large number of startups can sometimes yield a great return.
Yeah, they used to outperform the market in the 0% interest rate market. Is a very good way of looking at it. This video, unfortunately, now is a bit outdated, even though it came out 3 weeks ago. That guy he's talking to is basically, first of all, what he just described to you is gambling, okay? I just want to let everybody understand. If your job is doing number stuff in the stock market, your job is just gambling, but with like extra nerdy shit in between. And for VCs, you don't even get like a lot of the extra nerdy shit, like the fundamentals or whatever the fuck you're talking about. Oftentimes are pee-pee-poofed into oblivion because you're always looking for that unicorn, okay? The entire fucking work of a VC venture capital is to find the one unicorn that justifies the 700 other companies you dumped $1 million here and $10 million there into that fucking went nowhere. Okay? Current VC losses. SoftBank posts record $32 billion loss at its Vision Fund tech investment arm. Yo. Nice. It's just like gambling, but if you're rich enough and fuck up bad enough, the government will give you free money so you can keep gambling. It's betting on fantasy football, except not football, it's companies. No, that's not true. Sports gambling is still significantly better than VC shit. Sports gambling is still something that you can, like, something that the gambling company has to limit you on, because you can actually hedge well enough to keep consistently making money. No, it's not cope. I didn't even know about this beforehand, but I didn't realize that, like, sports gambling companies literally can legally stop you from gambling if you're gambling too good. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. So can casinos, technically. If you are sharp, you literally can't bet anymore because they will limit your betting to $10 a play. My friend did. She made $17K in 2 days and wasn't allowed to place any bets for 5 days. Yeah, they restrict your account to a certain amount you can wager. It's usually like $10. They don't, like, fully stop you from gambling, I'm pretty sure, but they restrict it. Let's get back to VCs.
But investors and institutions who can afford that type of risk, like super rich people, pension funds, college endowments, and insurance plans, they're busy. They don't have time to figure out if a 3D printing cannabis company named Prungle is legit or not. So they give money to VCs and let them handle it. However, when you talk to venture capitalists about vetting potential investments, you don't hear a lot about numbers. You hear more about the vibes.
First and foremost, we're investing in a team of people and their ability to execute against their vision. As the company gets bigger, you're more looking at spreadsheets. And when I invest, there are really no numbers to go off of. So it's much more about the people.
So not only do VCs separate themselves from...
It's literally Elon Musk style comment, which, by the way, in the case of Elon Musk, is very successful, obviously. But for every Elon Musk who's been able to con his way to the top, there are hundreds of thousands of dudes that are probably back in your hometowns now because they moved to San Francisco and they said adventure capital on their Instagram bios and got, they got some money. They maybe raised some funds if they got lucky, and, it fucking failed dramatically. Okay, let's keep going.
Traditional investment by taking risks, they're also the vibiest form of investment around. And this past decade, they've grown. Between 2012 and 2021, low interest rates and technological advancement has led to $344 billion flowing from venture capital. And tech reporter Natasha Mosca-Reinhas told us how this created a hyper-competitive market where VCs competed over founders.
If your competitor is willing to invest in, after 2 hours of meeting a founder, you need to start doing that too, or else you'll start losing out on deals.
And where there is excessive deal making, there is also excessive deals that should not have been making.
There has been so much money available for startup founders over the last decade, and that attracts bad actors sometimes, or that can, create bad incentives where maybe if you exaggerate a little bit, no one really calls you out on that.
Another double-edged sword of VC growth has been the pressure to talk a big game.
It's really tough to stand out as a VC, so you see them talk about and proclaim all these things to try to stand out.
And if we're not creating natural skepticism, usually the idea isn't disruptive enough.
So I'm going to talk about culture and revolution today.
I've made more in the last 8 years compared to the S&P than Buffett did in the first 8 years of Berkshire. Buffett did 1,000 points of alpha. I did 1,800 points of alpha. My returns are double Buffett's.
And where does most of this dick swinging take place?
So venture capitalists brag a lot on Twitter.
Twitter is where all of the venture capitalists are, because you can't follow a socialist OnlyFans influencer on LinkedIn. VC Brags is an anonymous Twitter account that documents the most egregious examples of VC self-promotion. Posts like this VC talking about achieving his decades-long goal of graduating Wharton and being a Forbes 30 under 30. And this VC who heard about someone's tragic loss and took the opportunity to promote their fund. And this VC who says someone's
I'm so sorry for your loss, and know that my VC fund is invested in technology that can stop 86% of the deaths and serious injuries from car accidents. That's awesome.
Tragic loss and took the opportunity to promote their fund. And this VC who says that while the rest of us are quibbling over jargon, he is saving lives with his tweets.
To draw up deal flow, you have to kind of be a little bit loud on Twitter a lot of the time. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You're too self-aggrandizing on Twitter, and you're gonna get dragged by me, unfortunately, but it's also might help your business.
It has evolved over the years into this kind of like thought leadership Olympics. Everyone's kind of picking their lane. It's like, am I the visionary? Am I the fight picker? Am I the meme sharer?
It would be great to see just more authenticity and intention. A lot of the times it's very fast moving, and people are always excited to go on to the next thing. I think it would be great to just see more conviction and people really digging in and really building expertise and being able to support the companies that they're investing.
So what do venture capitalists actually do? It's simple. They take cash from investors who are willing to accept risk and use that money to invest in startups. But the pressure to build their profile and land deals can make VCs act like they're doing more than that. But don't let the VCs fool you. They're humans just like us, which means they only want two things: money and attention, but mostly money. Speaking of, if any investor is listening, I would now like to take this moment to advertise an exciting new media startup that helps narcissistic white boys from Massachusetts find their purpose in life. It's called...
Dude, this guy, I've seen his TikToks, and he's pretty fire.
Hey everyone, it's me, the editor again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please throw some Kaya loves in the comments, and it's always nice to know when people reach this segment. To get more Hasan content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and hey, leave a like while you're at it. And if you'd like to see another video just like this one, why not check this one out?